Hello and welcome to GPR round 5 today, and Saudi Arabia we've got, and we are waiting for everyone to join the lobby so we can start. And yeah, that's what we're waiting for.
Kann man Bildschirm drehen?
Nope, that is Twitch. I need to just send the link. Hello, Lila, and welcome to today's stream. Right, we're waiting for everybody. Alright, you're excited. That's cool. And I also hope it's gonna be an exciting race today. Saudi, usually there's a lot of chaos. And let's hope it's gonna be a good race to watch. There's currently some things going on with some with who's going to reserve, but that should be cleared in a bit. I don't know why it's taking so long, but I hope that we're gonna be able to go in a bit. It's unfortunately gonna take a tiny bit longer still, and so we will have to see um, when we can go. Although what we can look at is the standings. I'm just trying to pull them up right now. So we've got standings after rain, and Volsey is in the lead of the standings with 87 points. Directly behind him with 79 points is Melon, and MaxFan is behind Melon with 76 points and a 11-point gap to Volsey. That is the top three, and those are the only ones that really still have a good chance at getting the title this year. And P4 belongs to Bantam Braden, who has got only 58 points and is 29 points behind Volsey already. But yeah, the top three theoretically could change completely today, depending on, of course, what happens. We are all just waiting for everybody to simply join the lobby to I'm trying to at least invite him to the lobby now. Everybody. And seemingly we are finally readying up. And let's see how exciting this race is gonna get. So now everybody is selecting their tire choice. What I've heard, medium tire seems to be the best here. Softs die out quite quickly. From my own experience, they might already die out after only 3 laps driven. So it's important to not go on them for a lot. And hard tires are apparently quite bad here as well. So we will most likely see most people try and do most of the race, at least, on mediums. That said, they should be done in a second, and we can finally, after 12 minutes, go into qualifying. I'm just gonna pull my track map up here because I can't do that anywhere else, and telemetry. And we are just gonna be waiting now. Yeah, with Melon as well, not being called. Not Melon, sorry. With Max Finn also not being called Akirsh. I will most likely not remember that. But I'm gonna at least try to remember. So, who's the first one that's going out? That's Volsi. Volsi's already out on these very tricky streets. And streets, of course, very easy. Also just simply get wrong. Barriers are very close here. You can make mistakes quickly. And he will, of course, be hoping that he's not the one to make mistakes. So, track is first race in 2021, and 6 kilometers, 6.174 kilometers long, and the lap record is currently held by Lewis Hamilton in 2021. It's a 130.7. It's a temporary street circuit, so after these races gets removed again. It's also a very fast circuit, but we will now focus on the actual action of the circuit. As Volsi is the first one to start a lap and instantly invalidates in only just turn 2. That is not something he wanted. That is not something he wanted. Let's see. And Mr. Mine, maybe. Mr. Mine might do it better. Mr. Mine is... at least he's made the first sector relatively well so far. Although he's only halfway done with it. Mr. Mine and the Aston already this season having shown some good quality performances, but not really having been able to keep that pace in the race most of the time. So let's see if he can change it today. As there's actually on Master Matt who's getting out of the way nicely for him, and that should not have impeded him whatsoever. it's using quite a lot of ERS already. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be running, but it seems like he's planned this all out very well, as he's actually managed to not invalidate any of the corners on the lap, and this is just the last few meters, and it's a 1:29.1 from Mr. Mine. First lap time set this session. As Own Master Mad sets a 1:30. That's a very bad lap time, but I guess that's the best he could do. And Charlie Perkins setting a 109, 1:29.527. Now let's look at someone that is also on a lap. Please control Tom. He is apparently setting his power middle sector, so that lap time should be a good one, and should at least be enough to get him up into P2, which he hopes so, because that's where his car performance should be. As he's now going towards the line, it's a 1:28.9. Very good lap time compared to Mr. Mine, for example. 2/10 faster than him. And yeah, that is a very easy lap time from him. And Joseph is on an out lap as well, and he's going to try and start his lap too. And we will be able to see. Seemingly Alter also not having the best possible lap time. Where, let me see if that is who I think it is, and I'm just gonna check for 1 second. I'm sorry. Alright, yes it is, so that seems to be Scarlet. Okay. Tom the Goat. I fully agree. He's outperformed his car, and is currently in P1. Let's look at Joseph though. Joseph is abandoning his lap actually. Yeah, he is. So he's not going to set any kind of fast lap times for now. Max Fan maybe is going to set some lap times. No, Melon is in front of him, so we're going to look at Melon. First, McLaren to start the lap. McLaren, of course, being a very fast car, usually at the front, although both McLarens are currently being outperformed by Volsi in the Ferrari. Kanati, who is the team boss, seemingly thinking he's a goat too. So let's see if that's true. Let's see where Adonis is going to end up on his lap too. As Amos Bobby goes fastest with a 1:27.7, and that's a very good lap time for him. He's going to be very happy about that. Most likely won't have to go out again. Now, Melon is gonna go through the last corner and gonna go towards the line to set a 1:27.3, 1:27.3 being the fast lap time by far that we've seen. So let's see who is actually also on the lap. That's Wildstorm. Wildstorm in the Haas, and that might be one to look out for, getting knocked out in Q1, along of course with the Kick Salbers and the Williams. Those are of course usually the ones that are getting knocked out, as they are the slowest cars on the grid. Wildstorm F1 going ahead of on F1, but staying behind John Perkins, so that lap time will most likely not be enough to get him out of Q1. Let's see what the other Haas can do though. Other Haas seemingly still on an out lap, even though it does show him on a current lap, but I'm sure he will eventually join on this lap. As Jamie has actually left the session too, which is very much suboptimal. I'm gonna try to at least re-invite him. As Xpalo, XD Paco, as Paco is actually going into the pits, so he's seemingly given up on his idea of going out. As Max Fan is also already retired. Idon is actually saying a very, very respectable lap time in the Alpine too, and that's him up a good position. He's also confidence retired. So has now AMS Bobby, and Ryan Prix actually not going for a lap seemingly, so he's going back into the pits, seemingly having messed up this lap, and that's him out for now. STRA is on his out lap, about to start his lap. He's also shown some good performances in the Mercedes, although recently, at least in Bahrain, was absolutely nowhere in the race. So he's going to try and bounce back from that lull with a good performance, and we will see what he's going to manage. So, goes down in turn 1, and turn 1-2 section, and into turn 3 this is flat out, and turn 4 and 5 there was a big crash here in 2021, and turn 6 and 7 now into turn 8, turn 9 now, turn 10, and down towards turn 13 now. Turn 13, very, very long hander, as Jamie apparently, or somebody, is just standing in the middle of the lane. So now STRA is going into the very, very left and right section of corners. I'm not even going to try to name all of them, there's just way too many. And he's going to go through turn 24 and 25 into turn 26. It's basically just one corner, and then he's going to go into the last corner of turn 27, and Let's see what his lap time is gonna be. SCRA sets a 128.3 P5, and Jamie apparently cannot take control of the car, which will most likely mean that's him at the back. I'm not even gonna try to process what the hell is happening here, but it's something. I guess he's warming up his engine. Let's look at Wildstorm. No, it's Xpado actually. Xpado is about to in the middle of his first ever lap. It's only 3 minutes to go though, so we will most likely soon have the first few people setting their final laps. Paco is going just completely through the middle sector and burning all the ERS. You can really see the difference between the ERS usage of different drivers. I'm pretty sure Mr. Mine had about 30% left here, and Paco burnt it all and is now much slower, of course, in the last sector, although he will most likely have been faster in the middle. Paco goes up to P11 with a 129.073. That's actually faster than Mr. Mine, so well done from him. Let's check on Jamie if his car is still stuck. Yes, it is. I guess that is just how it goes. Ryan has not set a lap yet. He needs a lap right now. Otherwise he is out in Q1 in an Aston. He goes through the final corner, turn 27, and is gonna go to the slightly bent straight, and it's gonna go up to P9 with 128.6. That's enough to get him out of Q1. So not yet to set a lap is Jamie, who is seemingly stuck on track, and SVApst, although SVApst has invalidated his outlap, that should not be any kind of issue. So let's see, who is gonna be the first one to start their lap? That should be one of the one of the Alfa Romeos. Kick Salvers, that's what it was, and it is the Kick Salver of Almost Mad. And let's see, he's instantly invalidated turn 1, so that's him out in Q1. Let's see who else. That's actually really only SVApst that's incredibly at risk now. SVApst, Wildstorm of 1 is staying in the pits. Own Master Matt has invalidated his lap. And Scarlet is unfortunately also out with a 132.5. So SVApst is the only person that can knock Charles Perkins out of Q2. This would be a great, as that is incredibly close to track limits. I don't know how he's not invalidated this lap, although it will most likely not be enough for anything remotely close to what's needed of this car now, with that big of a mistake. Oh, but I see that Own Master Mad is going to try and help his teammate SVApst get a slipstream and gain some gain some lap time. So that will most likely knock Charles Perkins out, thanks to Unmaster Matt helping his teammate. So, let's see what SV Ups can do. Into the final corner. Let's see what his lap time is going to be. Is it going to be enough for him? No, it is not. Only P17. So, let's see. Who is knocked out in Q1? Knocked out in Q1 is Wildstorm of 1, SV Upst, Own Master Mad, Scarlet, and Jamie, who's had problems with his game, so he could not settle uptime. Although Scarlet also set a very, very inconsistent and poor lap. Race Director, I don't think there was anything happening. No, it's only track limits and speeding in the pit lane. So now we go into Q2 and see what's gonna happen. Now, no one's gone out yet, so for now, there's nothing to do for now. Although, Max Fan is now going out already, alongside other people, it seems like. And he's actually teleported back too. That's great. So let's see who's the first one to go out. It is Adonis. Adonis in the Alpine, who set a very good lap time into Q1. So let's see if he can actually replicate that in Q2 too. And if he's going to get into Q3 and maybe also gain a good position. Okay, so we will have a restart after Q3. So and as we just left the session to do some open lobbies with other people, because we of course have a restart, so he can do that and rejoin. So Adonis is now going to start his lap, going all the way to the outside to have that tiny advantage on the run down to turn 1. So far, very decent lap time. You can really see how fast these cars are going. with an onboard, and how close they also are to the barrier. You can really see it here. And it's a 128.8. Not great, we've seen better. And it's instantly beaten by Max Fan, who's set a 127.7. Charbach is only setting a 129.4 though. 129.4 being a very poor lap. I'm also guessing on old tires. Let's see, what is Melon gonna set on his first lap? We've not seen a lot of Volzi either, the championship leader. And now, first of all, Melon is set a 128.1. Not the most competitive lap time that he's ever set. Oh, because it's a few minutes behind his teammate, but it's still good enough for P2. Although it is only slightly better than Paco's lap time, who's actually set an insane lap and a half with a 128.1. He's actually even beaten Bobby, who is also inverted his out lap, his in lap. Although that should be fine. Speed control Tom is actually also, and he's also invalidated his lap, so he's also gonna have to either pit or try and restart it. I'm also sorry, I did not realize I didn't have the telemetry turned on, and it seems like he still wants to see what lap time he could theoretically get, so he continued his lap even though it was invalid. And as Benta Brandon is on the lap as well. The Mercedes driver has been quiet this weekend so far, although he has had a very good season, currently being in P4 on the Drivers' Championship, and even though he's never really had the pace, he was just always in the midfield, never had an awful end result, and that's why he's so high up at the moment. Now, Brandon is going to go into turn 27 and accelerate down the main straight. Deploy used, P7, 128.6 only. Not great, but most likely also on old tires. As Ryan is actually also set a very good lap time and also spun, seemingly, with a 128.399. Him being decently high up, P5 in an Aston, that's actually quite good, as he's just rammed somebody out of the way, and Beta Brandon is actually being given a 5-place grid penalty too, for a collision with Ryan, and Ryan's lost his front ring end plate too, so I don't know what just happened there, but seemingly maybe Benta didn't see him? I don't know. but that's of course going to be costly for Aston Martin, replacing an entire front wing, and they most definitely don't want that. They don't want to have that risk. Joseph is now also starting his lap. The Red Bull driver is seemingly had to seemingly abandon his first attempt, and so he's gonna go again, and let's see what he's gonna do. As Wolsey's actually gone up into P2 with the Ferrari, and I've just seen that somehow, and but Wolsey's set a 1:27.7, almost the same lap time as Max Fan, so he's up there. He is up there. He can win today, most likely. He's got that pace, and that is very much exciting for the race. As Melon has set the fastest lap of this quali session so far with a 1:26.9. That is an insanely fast lap. And Joseph has set a 1:28.2 now. That is almost the same as his teammate. That's what he wants. And it's a very respectable lap. Tim, also on a lap in the Williams. He has been outperforming that car by an insanely large margin. So let's see what he is going to do. As now, Tim is going to go through the last corner and burn all of his last few bits of battery, and let's see what he is going to do in the Williams. Williams usually being good at top speed tracks, but seemingly not here. It's a 1:28.3. Although that is a very good lap time for a Williams. Looking at what I've seen last time, I'd actually say I expected better from him. Swedish Latifi has also seemingly left the session, so he's also gonna... Oh, and he's actually also retired, so that's him out of the session. Oh, okay, apparently his wheel broke. So he's gonna unfortunately have to retire. Oh, actually, I've got no idea. I was thinking time to that Scarlet drive, so that wasn't actually Scarlet. I don't know anymore. I simply don't know anymore. So, a lot of people are on the out lap or actually already on their lap. For example, Bobby is on his lap. He's currently in P2 and seemingly on for a very, very good drive. Tim retired. He realized that there is no more that he can get out of the car. So has Aki sorry, Maxman. Maxman is also retired. He thinks he's safe. Although Bobby is trying to still show what is possible in his Red Bull. So we will most likely see a very, very fast lap time here. He's burning all his battery and he's using every single inch of this track. So, Bobby is now going to go into the final few corners. He's already in sector 3. He's completed most of his lap. There's not really anywhere he can still invalidate it, and he just has to get this corner perfectly. He does not. He hits the inside wall there a bit, which he's just abandoning his lap. Yep, he's gonna almost run out of fuel, and he realized it's not needed, so he's gonna abandon his lap and pit. Where it is needed though, the lap is for SDRA. SDRA actually having his lap invalid and not saving battery. I think SDRA does not have the fuel anymore. Yes, exactly. And SDRA also does not have the time actually. So SDRA is going to be the first one to unfortunately go out. Banter Brandon though. Banter Brandon still can actually get up and get himself out of Q2. So, Peace Control Tom is also out now, so it's only Banter and Charlotte Perkins that can get themselves out still. And we'll see if they actually managed. Banter in the final few corners of his lap. He's had a little bit of a car in front of him and he's actually abandoning his lap too. So that is his lap completely done as far as I think. Although I don't understand why he just let him pass. And I honestly don't know why. But Ryan is up in P7 now. And Charlotte Perkins is out too. So we've got the people that are out already done, and that was I don't know why so many people just abandoned their laps, but I guess it's just what they wanted. Mr. Mine also out of fuel and in Q3, so Mr. Mine now trying to go back. To the pits, well, he's gonna take the checker flag actually. And that's Q2. So out in Q2 is SDRA, Brandon, and Swedish Latifi, although Swedish Latifi will not race because his wheel broke. Charlotte Perkins is also out, and Peace Control Tom is also out. Gap's quite close, although it is 2 seconds. There is little hope for an entertaining race at the front. There's quite close gaps. Everybody within a second of each other, so this should all be fine for a race. It should be a very entertaining race. As Adonis is the first one out once again, actually. Seemingly always Adonis being out the fastest. Now, Adonis is about to start a lap on most likely old tires, although I am, as far as I know, unable to see it because of the game, because it restricts it and it doesn't let you see it. The tires age exactly, yeah, everyone's on 0 lap old tires. It's only if they actually use it in this one. After this, of course, we will have a lobby restart because Jamie has had some issues, and that should all be fine after that. Adonis, of course, hugging these inside walls and going over the curb, having a little bit of a slide there, although that should not have cost him too much time. Of course, portable sector, because it's the first one out of track. Yeah. Adonis actually also running very, very close on fuel, already having the fuel warning. Although you of course want to do that in Q3, you want to be as fast as humanly possible. So of course you are going to take less fuel than you might ideally want. So that's not a great corner there, but Adonis is now gonna finish his lap, the 1:28.1. That's actually a very fast lap, and although it is instantly beaten by Max Fan with a 1:27.1, 1 second faster almost. So that's where you see what McLaren and what an Alpine can do. Joseph is actually also invalidated his lap. So Joseph is gonna have to try and go again, and I wonder if that might just be a bit too close between both Red Bulls, because they are gonna cost each other time now. As Pecco went P3 in the Haas with 1:28.1, and Mr. Mine 1:28.5. Not a great lap time from him. I'm sure he's gonna improve. Svolsi actually has set a lap time of 1:27.8. That is a very much competitive lap time. He's going to be second with that, although the McLarens in qualifying seem very much good. Red Bulls are actually still very much close together, and of course Joseph, now having had dirty air the entire first sector, is now going to have clean air and a big slipstream in the last sector. As Joseph is now also going to go over the line after his teammate with 1:27.6, so it most likely has helped Steam saying a 127.4. Seemingly Tim now being the last one to start his lap, and Melon actually also setting a 126.8. Very much fast lap time from him, and judging from that we started off at the 130s. You can really see. So Tim is most likely going to set this one lap time, and then he is going to go into the pits and not go out again. Although Tim has now hit the barrier, and that will most likely be front wing damage for him. Although I cannot see any front wing damage, so it might just be a very big shock. And he's managed to at least survive. And that will have cost him some time, although how much time, of course, is unsure. Tim, although, is continuing with his lap, as Jamie is left to create a new session. Let's see, what can Tim do? Can he actually do anything, or is he just gonna be last? It does not seem like a very competitive lap time for now. I don't think it will be. Will it? Nope, it is a 128.6. So that is the slowest lap time so far, and that will most likely be Tim's qualifying over. Although Volz is actually also now on his out lap, Adonis is actually already on his lap. And we will see what Adonis can do first, and then switch over to Volzy, because Volzy, of course, is the championship leader. As we can really see, Adonis using all his battery, and of course he's in an Alpine, which is not a very quick car in this game, and he's actually abandoned his lap, so he's going into the pits and speeding in the pits, and that's him most likely done. Volzy is now going to go and start his lap with actually the McLaren of Max Fan behind him, although that will most likely not be a big disturbance, although Volzy has already abandoned his lap, so that's gonna take a bit longer then for him to maybe, just maybe, get on the front row. as I think now Wolsey is finally gonna actually start his lap. His final lap, of course, and this needs to be a good one because he is in the worst machinery compared to the McLarens. So he has to do everything he can to beat them. As Volsey has him about to hit his lap, so that is him out of the contention. So next one that is very much fast is Max Finn, of course. Max Finn wanting stuff like this to happen, a mess up from the championship leader. So everything is up for grabs again. Who of the McLarens is gonna get pole position here? Adonis has in fact actually finished, so he's gonna stay at maximum P6. Very close to the barrier there, but that is what you need, that's what you want. You just don't want to get too close to it, and then you're as fast as possible. He's just gonna hit this apex perfectly, which he did, and now Max Finn is gonna try and accelerate out of that last corner and uses all of his ERS, and it is not enough. It is only P2 for 128.26.8. So Melon is now going to come over the line to set an even faster lap time of 126.7. That is most likely the pole position for Melon. Ryan de Preven and Paco are still going to go over the line. That's the same for Tim. Ryan going P6, then Paco going P6, both of them beating Adonis. Let's see what the last person, Tim, can do. Tim going up to P7. So, at the end, that is Mel, who's got pole position in front of Aki, Max Van, Bobby, Joseph, Volsey, Paco, Tim, Ryan, Adonis, and Mr. Mine. Overall, now the McLarens are very close to each other, and the Red Bulls are also very close. And then there's a gap to the rest of the grid. RBB P34, indeed. Yeah, of course. Now, you also have to convert it into points. That is in fact true. And because it's Saudi, of course, there might be a lot of chaos. Now, everyone's of course leaving the session, so I'm gonna do the exact same. And join the new one for the race. Sorry. Now we're just waiting for everybody to jump back in the lobby so we can go and continue with the race. Of course, it will always take a while for everybody to join. Something's always going wrong, so we'll just have to wait a bit. Although, let's hope it's gonna be a good race. We're just waiting for Paco, it seems like. Let's see if I have him as a friend. I don't think I do. Nope, I don't. So, let's see who am I waiting for. Who else am I waiting for? I don't think anyone else. Are we? Nope. Should be Paco, and then we should be able to go. Now, apparently, we are supposed to ready up. And we are, so we should be going in a bit. Now we're waiting for everybody to select the tire sets once again. Should be quicker this time though, as there's not much difference when you only have the race. Should usually be one that's matter and the rest are kind of just useless. Just waiting for almost mad. So let's see what's gonna be going on and who's gonna lead in turn 1. Of course, first of all, is it gonna be Max Fan or Melon? That is most likely gonna be the question. We're waiting for everybody to get their setups together. So, now, 3, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights out, and away we go. Malin is ahead of Max Fan first of all, but Bobby is almost attacking Max Fan already. No, Bobby has not attacked him, although there was a bit of contact with Volsey, and Volsey has lost, I think, 1 position. But Volsey, of course, being on hard tires, it seems like. He's went for a very opportunistic move into turn 1, and it has not worked out for him. Volsey is only in P5. Although he has actually not lost any positions. I was just thinking he was higher up, although that work has in fact not worked out for him. That move has not worked out for him. Seemingly Paco being the one that lost the most positions. And at the front, everything seemingly staying the same for now. Malin ahead of Max Fan and Bobby. All 3 of them are running away from the pack once again. Volsey is stuck behind Joseph, and Volsey, of course, that is basically the worst case scenario for the championship leader. So Ludov the Sun seemingly being Mr. Mine. Mr. Mine has dropped loads of positions. I don't know what happened to him, although he does have front wing damage actually. So he was in some kind of collision, and is also going into the pits now. And as Jamie's actually also making up some places around the outside of Almost Mad, and Wallstorm has also left the session. Wallstorm of 1, and that's him out too of the contention for now. As Wallstorm of 1 is now being simply just reached down. Yes, there's some kind of smoke screen. I'm not quite sure about that. And Jamie scanned most positions at the start. 4, in fact. And that is this race start. Tim actually also, yeah. Tim getting position in the Williams and going up into B6. Weekend seemingly running very well for him. And let's look at everybody's tires actually. So most of people are on mediums, although there is Volsey on hards and LV Ups on softs. Of course, Mr. Mine on hards, having pitted already. As there's now a swap for the lead and swap back. Melon staying ahead of Max Fan. As Bobby's actually dropped out of the DRS, and Alti has already gotten a 3-second time penalty. Well, that is actually impressive. That was very, very quick, and he will most likely be very annoyed about that. As Max Fan and Melon are actually also pulling away from the rest of the pack. Almost 1/10 away from Bobby, so they will most likely just continue swapping places to gain some time on their opponents, because Bobby, of course, is waiting for them to make a mistake to get past them. Bobby is apparently known for his pretty heroic dive bombs and dangerous moves, though. We will see if he might make one of those. As there's also a bit of fighting for position, and Volsey has actually gotten past Joseph. Volsey, of course, is now going to try and push away from Joseph, and Wallstorm of 1 seemingly also having some connection issues. I'm gonna just simply try to re-invite him, and I don't actually have him. Okay. I'm not gonna re-invite him then. So Wallstrom actually has instant join again, so it's not too large of an issue for him, most likely. As Alte has already gotten the second 3-second time penalty. I'm not quite sure if they're correct in this league. They just drove into the barrier too. Are they drunk or something? I don't know. Jamie is going past another person. He's just gaining positions very quickly now. That's what he exactly wants, and he's up into P13. Bobby being directly behind the McLarens now. He might be able to get a position here if he wants to, although he is not using any of his battery that he could use, so he's most likely also just simply not wanting to go for it. Jazov actually having overtaken Volsey now. That's definitely not what Volsey hoped for, although Volsey has made some pretty bad strategy decisions before, so this might just be another one. As we Alps actually also, I think, having run wide or something. No, he's in the pits. He was in the pits. Onto hard tires, most likely having front wing damage, I'm guessing. He's now going to try to pull away and build a gap to the people that are going to still have to pit. As we Alps actually also got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so he will have also got a corner, and Altos actually already got 9 seconds worth of penalty within 5 laps. As there's a ginormous train behind Jazov actually, and that train actually goes down to P12. All of the grid is just in this train, and Volsey's made a mistake, big mistake, lock up, and someone's run into his rear end, although Volsey has managed to stay ahead of P5, and I wonder if somebody behind him, either Ryan or Tim, might have front wing damage. Although it does not seem to be the case. As Wallstrom of 1 has also gotten a 3-second time penalty. He of course has to catch back up the time he lost. And that's of course not going to be very easy. Bobby's actually keeping up with the McLarens, who are on an insane pace today. They are pulling away from everybody else. The top 3, or this will most likely also be the top 3. We will in fact see as Jazov has lost some positions, and Ryan has actually spun into the barrier, so has Tim, and both of them are ghosting inside each other now. This is, I don't know. So they figured each other out. Ryan losing loads of positions, and Tim all losing some. As Bobby, P3 actually already has gotten a 3-second time penalty, trying to keep up with the McLarens, who are pulling away, and he is just about keeping it within DRS. Although he might be out now, and He's also hit the barrier, and Mr. Mine also got a 3-second time penalty too. His race also not going very well. Bobby is in fact actually still in the DRS, although only just, and I think he is out now. Indeed, Bobby's out of DRS, so that means he will most likely use all his positions, as SV Ups has spun and crashed he has lost his front wing completely, and that is his race ruined too. He has actually crashed and retired into the barrier, and that is him completely out of this race. Although there is no safety car. I don't actually know if there is a safety car in this league. I'm not quite sure. I forget all the time. So, Max Van and Mellon are now pulling away. Both McLarens, of course, going to try to build a gap to Bobby so they can just manage their own pace. And that seemingly is working, actually. Bobby cannot keep up with them. As SV also has left the session, in fact. Yep, Bobby is not getting back in. As both McLarens actually still have decent amounts of ERS, and Altley also retired, and there is now a safety car. So safety car is actually there, and safety car is out because Altley retired in the middle sector, actually in sector 1 I think it was, and he's seemingly crashed on that long hander. So Max Fan is of course not going to pit. Is Melon too? Yes, Melon is also going to pit. And that is very good for Wolsey, because Wolsey can now catch back up. Although there will be loads of chaos in the pit lane now, of course. And as Wolsey's actually stayed out on the safety car, and Wolsey is going to try to simply just gain position instead of have a better tire. And that's a very, very bold move to do. As most people, of course, are gonna go onto the hard tire to try and finish the race from here. Of course, for everybody that has had a bad race so far, that will make them have the ability to catch back up again. For example, there is, of course, Wolfstorm, who has had a very unfortunate couple of disconnects, and he is now able to catch back up to everybody. Although, of course, he does have a penalty. So let's look at the positions gained overall. Volsey, of course, get the most positions. Actually, no, not even the most. Volsey gained 4 positions. Melon lost 3. Adonis gained 4. Joseph lost 2. STRA gained 3. Paco lost 3. Banter gained 2. Jamie actually gained 8 positions. Tom gained 2. Ryan lost 5. Gained 3. Perkins lost 2. Mr. Mine lost 6. And Walsum of 1 lost 2. So everybody is on the hard tires. Mr. Mine having 8 laps on his tire and Volsey 9. So there are 3 time penalties for Bobby, Charlotte Perkins, Mr. Mine and Wallstone F1. Well, of course, just waiting for the safety car to come in. So, safety car is coming in this lap, it seems like. So, Volsey is gonna lead the pack and do his own restart. As Volsey is now gonna go full power, and that is not a great restart. Max Fan is directly behind him, and he will most likely gonna try and overtake him into turn 1. No, he's actually not. Yes, he is. He's gonna send it late down his inside, and they made a bit of contact, and that has allowed Bobby to also go alongside him, as Max Fan is now alongside him, and I think he's ahead. Yes, Max Fan is ahead of Volsey. Volsey's locked up a bit. He's gone a bit deep, and you can really see him struggle compared to other people, and Bobby is directly behind him as Adonis got a 10-second time penalty for gaining a position. And Volsey is really struggling compared to other people, and Bobby is directly behind him now. He is 1.5 tenths behind him. And he's of course going to try and overtake. He has to. Is he going to go down the inside? No, he can't. Volsey blocks it off. So what can he do? Let's go on board with Bobby. Bobby being directly behind Volsey. And Volsey, of course, realizing this and trying to defend. But it is not enough. And he's passed. Same for Melon, actually. Melon passed him around the outside alongside Bobby. That is a very, very good move from Melon. Will he get 2 in 1 though? Or will he only have to settle for Volsey? He's going to go around the outside into turn 1. And he's actually already ahead before the braking zone. So, Melon is now back in P2. As Tim has actually also retired. Seems like in the pit lane. So that's him out too. And Adonis, of course, has its 10-second time penalty, which will cost him badly. As of course Bobby is now going to try and stick with the McLarens this time. And last time of course he was just outside of their DRS, and now he's back in it. Same for Volsey actually, and Joseph is actually holding everyone else up. Joseph trying to help his teammate out and do a prime Kevin Magnussen, as it was said in the paddock chat. as Joseph has actually been overtaken now by Benta Braden, although I think he will most likely be re-overtaken in no time. Whilst number 1 actually having got a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. I don't know what he did, but that must have been a very large corner cut to get an instant 10-second. As now Melon is actually going to overtake Max Van again, and Bobby of course is still directly behind them. And let's actually see, is Joseph gonna re-overtake Banter? It seems like it. And is Joseph gonna go down the inside? Yes, he is. Is he gonna make it before the corner, or is he gonna have to fight him? It's not really a big fight. Bender gives the place up and accepts his fate. What a great camera angle, honestly. You can really see how Joseph is holding everybody up here in the middle sector. A ginormous train, of course, down to P12, down to Ryan, who was the last person on this train. P13 is Wildstorm, who's in the middle of nowhere. And P14 to P16, there's a little train between Charlotte, Mr. Mine, and as Bobby has overtaken Melon, actually. Although Melon might want to get him back. Yes, he will. And that is Bobby back down to P3, behind both McLarens. McLarens are just managing together with Bobby at this point. And they're just saving their ERS. So everybody always has enough. As Wolsey, of course, also has been overtaken by Adonis, and he will most likely fall back down to STRA actually now, and Joseph. STRA actually has covered his race relatively well too, for an awful qualifying position, and the Mercedes have kind of switched with the Aston Martins. Yes, there is 10 laps to go. And STRA actually has swapped positions once again, and Joseph is ahead of this train again, and he will most likely now try to back the entire train up again. as Volts is actually sticking with the donors for now. Honors, of course, why all the tires. That's well done for him, and although it's not really saving his race, he is still gonna be able to get a point most likely. With the slow people not really being able to do anything against that. As STRA and Paco and everybody seems to be kind of be fighting in this midfield, and it's incredibly close between everybody, and they're bunching up again, and it's gonna go 3 wide into turn 1 actually, and is this gonna go well? No, it's not, and Paco has cut the corner while STRA has hit the barrier. And Paco has another 10-second time penalty. It's now 23 seconds worth of penalty. As Charles Buckins actually has spun, I think, and that is very, very bad for her. She's already gotten a 3-second and not really had any kind of pace to show this weekend. So no, she's just off even worse now. As the McLarens once again have switched positions, and Volts is actually pitting now. So let's see where Volts is going to come out. Onto mediums, Volts goes. And Voltsy will come out in that gap between on Mastermad and Charlotte. As Charlotte is actually also pitting to, I'm guessing, retire. No, okay. Charlotte is actually going to the softs and trying to seemingly finish this race. So we've got Paco with his 23-second time penalty directly behind Joseph, and although Paco seemingly also not actually being able to go the pace of Joseph either, so that is also very, very bad for him. And speaking of Voltsy, actually, of course, Voltsy also having to, as there is Ryan has had coming together with the barrier and half spun basically, so that is him down to P11 now. That is the bad thing about this, trying to make one mistake and you're down all these places. As the top 3, actually, Bobby's going to launch it down this inside of Malin, and that was a very, very opportunistic move, although it unfortunately has not worked out for him. Although, of course, Bobby is showing himself, as Charlie Pockets has, in fact, now retired from the race. we can actually look at Volsey too. Volsey, of course, having got some points here today, and Unmusmat is the first one on his list. That overtake should be relatively easy, as he's simply just in a way superior car, and you can really see him just whiz past him, and he's almost caught up to Mr. Mime already, actually, and you can really see how quick this Ferrari actually is compared to other cars. As Almost Mad is actually sticking with Volsey for now. I did not expect that. And Volsey is unable to overtake Mr. Mine before turn 1. And he's got 5 laps left, and I don't think he's gonna overtake many more people. Maybe Wildstorm, and that's gonna be it for Volsey. Back to the front. Top 3 still very close together, and nothing really happening there. So this should all end with a McLaren 1-2 and Bobby in P3. As we can really see just the chaos occurring here, and everybody is incredibly close together with each other, and STRA and Banter Braden, both Mercedes, are trying to make up places here, as STRA is going to launch one down the inside of Paco. Is Paco gonna actually give him space? Yes, he is, although STRA is gonna back out. There's a yellow flag, and Bobby and Max Finn have crashed with each other, and that will give... they're both with front wing damage now, and Adonis is now going to try and overtake them, actually. Is he? He will have the best chance to get a P2 here, and Adonis will definitely like that. He just has to get rid of this 10-second then, and then he has that P3 in his back. P2, of course. Sorry. And they're both actually kind of making mobile roadblock here, which is of course awful for Adonis, who's gonna have to get past them. And the question is just how. He's gonna try and get past on this straight. Yes, he is. Although the McLaren of Max Fan is blocking him off, and Adonis is unable to get past. And although Adonis is now gonna try and get past around the outside of Max Fan, which of course turns to the inside here, they're going side by side with each other down to turn 27. This tricky braking zone. Of course, both of them will have DRS on Bobby. Are they gonna pit or are they gonna stay out? They are gonna stay out, both of them, with damage, of course, as Adonis has wasted all his battery to stay ahead of Max Fan. Max Fan is now behind. Adonis is now, of course, also going to try and overtake Bobby, and I'm going to get an on-track P2. And Bobby is still ahead of Adonis, although Adonis is catching up to him, and it seems like Max Van cannot go the pace of Bobby. Seems like Max Van has the worst damage, although Adonis cannot get past Bobby on the stride. Of course, with the front wing damage he will have less drag too, and that will help him as well. Now, is he going to try and get past Bobby here? Is he going to turn through the inside for him? Yes, it is, and he is past for now. Although Bobby might have the DRS back on him. Yes, he has. And he's got more DRS on him. And look at that top speed of that Red Bull compared to the Alpine. Bobby is ahead once again. As Joseph also gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, he will not be able to get that removed. As Bobby's actually run wide and got a bit of a chicane, and that allowed Adonis to get past him. Adonis now got 43% ERS to try and defend from Bobby. Although you can really see how much Bobby struggles in this middle sector. And he's already lost 5/10 to him. And this only real chance is going to be now this long straight with the DRS. As SDRA has actually also caught up to them now. Now it's all a train. And Adonis, of course, is going to try and just run away from Bobby now. All he has to do is now stay ahead for the middle sector, and it should be fine for him. But that is easier said than done. Although seemingly Bobby does not have the pace to get back to Adonis. Adonis seemingly having secured that on-track P2. Yes, he has. Of course, Adonis is now going to run away. With, the Red Bull of Bobby and Max Van, McLaren of Max Van, both have front wing damage. As Bobby actually somehow manages to stay with Adonis in the middle sector, and STRA has overtaken Max Van. STRA can get a podium here. He will, most likely will, if Max Van's not going to re-overtake him. That is huge for him. Although Ryan will also gain loads of position because he does not have any kind of penalties. So I'm actually not sure who is going to be in what position anymore at this point. As SDRA is of course going to try and overtake Bobby and Adonis. SDRA being directly behind him. You can really smell that podium already, you could say. As it's the last lap of the race for Malin, who's done everything right. He has not crashed like his teammate has. As, speaking of that, his teammate has lost loads of positions just now. And was it another bit of contact? I don't know. So that was now Adonis and everybody. Joseph actually built a gap now for 1.9 seconds now. Does he not have any front wing? Yes, he does have front wing. So he's probably just trying to save his teammate. Because he does have the 3 second. So does his teammate. Just the cast directly behind him don't. And they would get ahead. As also gets another 3 second. And his race, of course, he's the only one that to finish and not score points, which is of course not great. As Max Fan is now gonna go over the line to win the Grand Prix. Bobby is still fighting with Adonis, and they're going side by side down this long straight. As STRA is actually going to overtake both of them, and it is now actually on track. It is STRA behind Bobby, but But in the results, it is Banta Brennan, who is in P2, Ryan, who's in P3, AMS Bobby, who's in P4, and STRA, who's in P5. Great race for Melon. Banta Brennan, driver of the day, I think fully deserved. That is the race, so classification of the race is Melon ahead of Banta Brennan, Rand, Preven, AMS Bobby, SDRA, Jigsaw, Jamie, Peace Control Tom, Volsey, and Max Fan only P10, Adonis, Mr. Mine, Walsim of 1, and Expado being in last, Charlie Perkins, Tim, Alti, and SV Alps all retiring. Thank you for watching today's stream, and I'm gonna say